Alright, what's going on everybody? My name is Tyree and I'm doing this video a bit different. I'm not a professional. Um, I've worked in some grows. I've grown myself in and outdoors. So always, do your own research, do your own testing, do your own, all that. Alright, so composting. Compost is the organic matter that includes scraps of natural material like vegetables, leaves, sticks, grass, and the decomposition of it provides extra nutrition to the soil. So when you're doing potted plants, like in my previous video, I put compost, like a scoop or two of compost in there along with the soil. It just gives them a little extra. So like say they run out of nutrients from the soil, they got that compost, or a lot of it runs through the pot. When you're doing pots, um, you got that extra in there that it's pulling from. Now, predominantly, like much of the dirt, like they pull these nutrients from the dirt. It already has much of what they need in it, and then they start running out of things due to the composition of the dirt, of the soil, of the ground you're planting in, whatever. So that's why compost is a useful tool, because it provides extra, say it's lacking something, it'll, you know, it provides that. Now, me personally, I like the all natural. I wouldn't. There's people that do bones. They grind up bones from animals. Bone meal, blood meal. I don't do that. Personally, I don't. I'm not down in it, but it's just I prefer to do like. I feel like they get much of what they need from the decomposing of other plants of your household, where you the fruits and the vegetables and that you put in there, and the eggshells. So moving forward, I'm seeing some ants. Um, with that said, I'm gonna have to move around. Yep, compost or composting is these bugs is out. Okay, growers and people they'll buy blood meal and bone meal because it is beneficial, but it's like at some extent it's like, okay, when you're growing weed, it's like you have to do a very good job of flushing that out of your plant, or you're gonna be smoking it and eating it and all that. So I'm not gonna say I wouldn't recommend it. I don't have like, for one, I don't have the knowledge, but I don't have the process, the method, the tools to necessarily break down these things like the earth would, or like more professionals would, or whatever. But however, there are ways to substitute what the bone, the blood, and the flesh offers to the compost. One thing you could add is fish. I prefer to keep it organic. I don't necessarily you know, I would prefer maybe using maybe fish bones, fish waste, but then it's like your plants could get it elsewhere. And if I'm wrong, correct me. Minerals that are in blood and bone meal would be the phosphorus, the calcium, nitrogen, and potassium. These are important because when your plants start to flower, start to produce fruit, start to bud, they'll pull more phosphorus and calcium and nitrogen from the soil. So that's why some people be like, okay, they'll add blood and bone meal to their soil, or to the dirt. Not, like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm not experienced that well, but I have found good results just using plants and natural, more not flesh, not bone. So some substitutes would be manure, like waste, your pet's waste. If you're not feeding your pet like real crazy things, if you're feeding them like a nice diet, their waste would be good. Manure, and again, dead plants. So like collard greens, green vegetables, like spinach, like these dark leafy greens, they're good for providing, they're high in calcium, so they'll provide more calcium to your compost. Um, yeah, so now I'm just gonna show y'all my methods and try to, break it down the best I can. I don't know if people usually water their compost. I just know it's real dry out here. So I don't water my compost, but I will add some water. I ain't gonna be turning it, making a video on it. I do feel like your compost do need a little moisture, not too much, but enough.